Hello and welcome to the Recreation to Recreation podcast, the show where we explore the stories of people who have turned the activity that they love into positive change for our world. My name is Jen, and I'll be your sidekick on this adventure as we treasure hunt for gems of insight and wisdom while exploring the planet with our inspiring guests. Hello and welcome. I'm Jen, and I'm really glad you're here. Today's episode is a pause to honor the changing seasons, a moment to look back and to name what we've really been doing here. If you've been listening since the beginning, you'll know this show is much more than a collection of conversations. In the past year, I've been honored to sit down with 6 different guests. We traveled from New Zealand to Costa Rica, Antarctica to Canada and the UK, from Chile to the United States and beyond, across hemispheres, cultures, and experiencing very different lives. But beneath the geography, there was a shared experience, a slowing down, a reflecting back, and a remembering of what has mattered and still does. As someone who works as a life and death transition guide, one of the things I do is support people through life reviews. Not only at end of life, but throughout it. Because reflecting on how we've lived, what we've loved, and what we're devoted to has a way of clarifying how we want to keep living what's left of our time here. That's really what these conversations are. Each episode is a kind of life review, guided not by resume highlights, but by curiosity, care, and what it means to be human. I often talk about this work through what I call the death compass, exploring how we think and make meaning, how we speak and relate, how we embody and recreate, and how we give, contribute, and carry things forward. When I listen back to this season, I hear those directions woven everywhere. In hyper-realistic cakes and dinosaur dentistry, in wildlife rehabilitation, and the inside story of the film industry, in travel done differently, and in hummingbirds, remembering that caring for small things, even in small ways, can make a huge difference. These weren't random topics. They were expressions of how people are living their answer to what matters most to them. As you now know from listening to the show, there's only one question that every conversation has in common. What do you think is the meaning and purpose of life, the universe, and everything? What I love about the answers is that they're always deeply human and shared through the unique perspective of the person reflecting. As with every season, together we supported charities connected to the places, people, and animals we spoke about, because reflecting on life also invites us to ask how we want to show up in the world that we are part of. If you're listening to this and feeling a quiet nudge, a sense of, I've been thinking about these things too, I want you to know this is exactly the kind of reflection I support in my work. You might want to join me on the podcast, a conversation exploring how you've lived, what you care about, and how you want to keep showing up. And never underestimate the power of your story and the impact it might have on someone listening. Or you might prefer to do this privately, through a one-to-one recorded interview, just for you and the people you love. That's how we start to live not only our life, but also our legacy. Both are possible. Because these conversations don't require you to be dying. Instead, they're invitations to live a little more consciously, a little more honestly. Thank you for listening to this season. and for all my guests entrusting me with their stories. This show and my work is where our mortality shifts from being the monster under the bed to the mentor lying in it, helping us to live with clarity, care, and intention. If you feel called to have one of these conversations, you know where to find me. Take good care, and remember, keep exploring, keep experiencing, and keep expanding while you're here. For today's adventure, we're heading to New Zealand and beyond with John to explore his world of awareness, reconnection, and creative adventure. And I always have one final question that I ask of all the guests.
Go for it.
Okay. What do you think is the meaning and purpose of life, the universe, and everything?
Life, the universe, and everything. I'm not sure I've got anything scientific or anything. I think it's trust your gut, live your life, do things that make you happy. We've evolved on this planet, and the human race is both wonderful and quite disturbing at the same time, but my experience is the vast majority of the planet and the people here are good, and that's not really reflected in the way we see it in the media. I have a bit of a personal bugbear with how the media presents the world because it's not my experience from traveling around in the world. So I think we're here to, people just want to hang out with their friends, their family. They want to have a good time. They don't really want stress. They want to put food on the table. They want to enjoy their time here. And we get distracted from doing that sometimes. But that's predominantly the human race in almost in a nutshell, capable of doing the most amazing things and the most dastardly things at the same time. But that the negative side is a lot smaller than you might think, and the positive side is quite fascinating, and that's what I've learned from traveling. And I get my purpose is I've gone out there to try and explore and understand and learn about the world myself firsthand, rather than taking it from somebody else. So get out there, explore, meet people, be curious. The universe is an amazing place, and there's lots of positivity out there.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time today, John.
You're welcome, Jen. Lovely to talk to you.
For today's adventure, we're heading to Nova Scotia with Hope to explore her world of wildlife, rehabilitation, and commitment to care. So I have one final question, and this is actually the only question that I ask that's the same for everyone. I hope you saw it in the email because I do like to give people a chance to. No, okay.
I don't think I did. Here goes nothing. Yeah.
The good news is that you've been, able to answer every question so far. So I have every confidence that you will be okay. You can also say no. You can also say, you know what, I don't feel like answering it. I like to give people that option too. But what do you think is the meaning and purpose of life, the universe, and everything?
That's quite a question. I think it's to give back, to be a servant, to serve the people, to be kind and caring. I think that's what we're here to do. I really do. And we all do in different ways. It might be through music, it might be through education, it might be through there's so many different ways to give. I do feel the earth can only benefit as we give and share.
That's so beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time today, Hope. I really enjoyed this conversation.
And same to you. I just had a wonderful time. And if you're ever in Nova Scotia, you do need to come visit me.
I would love that.
I'll give you a private tour behind the scenes.
Oh, I would be honored.
Okay.
Thank you. For today's adventure, we're heading to the USA and beyond with Lynnea to explore her world of dinosaurs, representation, and following your dreams. And we have one final question. It's the one question that I ask every single guest, and it's my favorite. So
Okay.
if you're ready,
I hope so. Okay.
what do you think is the meaning and purpose of life, the universe, and everything?
Oh, simple. Okay. I think if you were to ask like a evolutionary biologist or paleontologist from like a strictly science perspective, they'd probably say reproduction. And it's just continuing the species. But I don't want to give that answer. That's okay. So I take it back. That's not my answer. I think me as Linnea would probably just say to have a good time and, and do good also. Yeah, so I guess there's that saying of leaving things better than you found it. So trying to make the most of your own experience and also make other people's experience better as well.
I will take both of those answers as having space here, but I'm glad you clarified which was yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you again for your time today, Linnea. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this conversation as well.
For today's adventure, we're heading to the UK and beyond with Benjamin to explore his world of illustration, inspiration, and the film industry. And without further ado, I'll ask you the one last question, which I'm
Oh gosh. Okay.
really excited to hear your answer, which you already know it's coming because you listened to an episode before. So if you're ready,
I think I've completely forgotten what's coming, but
perfect.
there we go.
What do you think is the meaning and purpose of life, the universe, and everything?
Oh gosh. I would say from our perspective as a human, I would probably say it's to feel everything that we genetically and biologically and spiritually are capable of feeling. To leave no sort of stone unturned there and to feel everything, the good stuff, the bad stuff, bad stuff that makes us thankful for the good stuff. Don't be afraid to explore that because that's what makes us so unique on the planet, as far as we know, that we are capable of this memory, feelings, dreams, the effect we have on others. So yeah, I would say feeling and emotions, to feel everything.
That's an awesome answer. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All the answers are so different, and that's what I absolutely love about that question because they're always an invitation for each of us listening to just, "Oh, does that feel true to me?"
I think such a vast question ends up making you feel incredibly just small, and therefore, okay, so what's the most human thing you could do? Just
Mhm.
be a human.
Well, and that's what I think is the beautiful invitation of
Mm.
conversations about existence and
Yeah.
being here. Does there even need to be a purpose? Like we can go down so many different routes with it, and none of them are right and none of them are wrong. Like, this really harkens back to what we were talking about earlier. It's about the spectrum of being, just
Hmm.
allowing all of these things to exist at once, which can be very overwhelming, but it can also be extremely liberating. And it can allow us to give ourselves permission to be present with some of the bigger questions about who we are and why we're here. But then, as you were saying, also grounding down into the reality of just being human in this
Yeah.
body and feeling all of the things that it is possible to feel. Thank you so much, Ben. I've
Yeah,
really,
thank you, Jen. Thank you for doing the podcast because I think it's quite incredible and very unique.
thank you. I really appreciate that. For today's adventure, we're heading to Costa Rica with Agustín to explore his world of hummingbirds, healing, and human nature. And before we wrap up here, I want to ask you one last question.
Sure.
What do you think is the meaning and purpose of life, the universe, and everything?
Well, coming back to the phrase that I already mentioned, the reason why we are here is not a mistake. It's not a random fact. No, we are here. The universe is so rich. It's so abundant. I think that at the end of everything, we simply realize that we are able to admire everything that we have around, and even though we struggle with different phases of our lives or our chapters in this universe, noticing that everything, including the smaller details, the biggest details, and every single matter of our existence was there for a purpose. Not only that we have a purpose, that everything that we went through certainly had it, and it had collateral effects in different ways, in different lives, in different actions, different perceptions. Again, I come back to the fact that consciousness come with that gift. If we are able to appreciate that gift, that purpose will be revealed somehow in the way we certainly expect.
What a beautiful answer. Thank you so much for your time today.
Now, thank you again for the opportunity of being here. It was a great experience of having my first book.
For today's adventure, we're heading to Chile, Canada, and beyond with Andrea to explore her world of cake creation, authenticity, and openness. And before we wrap up this beautiful conversation, I have one more question, which I ask.
Let's go.
This is the only question that I ask in every single interview. Other than that, no question is shared. What do you think is the meaning and purpose of life, the universe, and everything?
Whoa. Meaning of life. Just experiencing stuff. Yeah. The beautiful, the bad, the sad, the happy, the thrilling, the boring. I feel like life is so beautiful. And as humans, we sometimes get wrapped up way too much in our heads with like, oh, my life is so boring. But like, look out there. There is so much to do. There is so much to see. There is so much to experiment. Even in the daily routine stuff, you can always find something to spice it up. Like try a new dish to cook at dinner, or a new show that you always wanted to watch and never did. Or yeah, I don't know. And also like I feel with social media again, our concept or of life, it's a little bit stretched. How people seem to be like be on vacations every day. I'm like, no, that's not reality. I mean, for some, sure, maybe, but for the vast majority of us, that is like a couple weeks a year. But in the meantime, while you get there, if you want to get there, if it's something that you aspire to, just find the beauty in the small things. So I feel experiencing everything and anything. The good, the bad, the wrong, the right.
Just open up to it.
Yeah. Yeah, just being open to it and recognizing with what you resonate the most. Because there's people that would vibe more with one thing, but other people with other thing. But that's your unique human experience that we're here to experience, and for so short time too. So I feel like if I could say something to anyone is don't take life too seriously. Like life is just a journey. We're here for
for a minuscule part of the time. So just, make it count.
Thank you so much for joining me today. This was the best.
Aw, Jen, thank you so much for, inviting me, for contacting me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share my story.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Recreation to Recreation. If you or someone you know has a unique and inspiring story to tell, make sure to reach out so we can share it with the world. Until next time, keep experiencing, keep expanding, and keep exploring.